Imagine this. Zack Snyder had an ambitious, bold vision for the Justice League, one that would redefine the DC universe into something darker, more intense, and far-reaching. Picture an epic trilogy that would test our favorite heroes to their limits. But then came Joss Whedon, and well, things took a very different turn.
Do you talk to fish?
The result? A film that felt like a patchwork, blending two directors' styles into something that didn't quite work. It wasn't just a case of swapping directors, it was like switching from a brooding noir to a quippy sitcom overnight.
You're gorgeous and fierce and strong and
So, what was Snyder's original plan, and how did it all come crashing down? Today, we're diving deep into what the SnyderVerse could have been, a DC world where Darkseid was the ultimate puppet master, and even Superman wasn't safe from corruption.
Stop right there. I'm in.
Fun fact, before anyone accuses Darkseid of being a knockoff Thanos, let's set the record straight. Darkseid came first. Created by Jack Kirby in 1970, his character actually inspired the creation of Thanos, not the other way around. Darkseid was the original cosmic villain with plans of universal domination.
Ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
In Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1, our heroes united to defeat Steppenwolf, but what awaited them in the plan Part 2? While Snyder never completed a full script, he outlined an epic story with unexpected twists, multiple villains, and emotionally charged moments that would have pushed the Justice League to its limits.
I need to bring us together and make this right.
So, what would the sequel have looked like? Unlike Marvel's Infinity War and Endgame, which focused on one central villain, Thanos, and his minions, the Justice League 2 would have featured a coalition of enemies banding together under the banner of the Legion of Doom, masterminded by none other than Lex Luthor.
Shouldn't we have a league of our own?
This team of villains would include familiar faces from previous solo hero films. Imagine seeing the Riddler from the rumored Ben Affleck Batman movie alongside Ocean Master, Orm, and Black Manta from Aquaman, and even Dr. Maru, aka Dr. Poison, from Wonder Woman, all working together to take down the Justice League.
Okay.
Snyder's vision? A true rogues gallery coming together for a catastrophic threat. But things would have taken a dark turn fast. As Batman and Lois Lane work together to track down and imprison Lex Luthor, Batman confronts the Riddler. Driven mad after solving the anti-life equation for Luthor, the Riddler warns Batman that if Luthor unlocks the equation, it will spell the end of the world. Then, in a jaw-dropping twist, Riddler ends his own life in front of Batman. Shocking, right? That's just the start. Darkseid arrives on Earth and strikes a deal with Lex Luthor, who hands over the final piece of the anti-life equation.
Magical thinking of orphan boys.
Now armed with the power to control minds and strip beings of free will, Darkseid is nearly unstoppable. But Lex's betrayal runs even deeper. He reveals that to truly break Superman, Lois Lane must die, and she's pregnant. This revelation adds a heartbreaking layer to the brewing battle. In a desperate attempt to stop Darkseid, Superman, Batman, and Lois regroup in the Batcave. But this war isn't like any they've faced before. Superman orders Batman to stay behind and protect Lois while he faces Darkseid, but the villain's cunning outplays them all. Darkseid boom tubes directly to the Batcave. Superman rushes back, but not fast enough. In a brutal moment, he witnesses Darkseid's Omega beams strike Lois, killing her in front of both Superman and Batman. This moment shatters Superman. In his grief, Darkseid uses the anti-life equation to seize control of him, turning Earth's greatest hero into his deadliest weapon. Now, Superman fights for Darkseid, not the League. Batman barely escapes the carnage as Superman, under Darkseid's thrall, turns on his former friend. At the same time, the Justice League crumbles. Dr. Maru unleashes her deadly chemical weapons, wiping out Wonder Woman and the Amazons. Meanwhile, Orm and Black Manta lead a vicious assault on Atlantis, killing Aquaman in the process. This would have marked one of the darkest chapters in the DC universe, plunging it into chaos and despair. The film would then fast-forward years into a bleak, post-apocalyptic future. A fractured resistance, comprising Batman, the Flash, Cyborg, Mara, and Deathstroke, struggles to survive in the dystopian ruins of Gotham. This grim reality was hinted at in Snyder's Knightmare sequence, where a mind-controlled Superman hunts the remaining heroes under Darkseid's command. Justice League 2 would have ended here, leaving us on a chilling cliffhanger. Could the last of the heroes stand against Darkseid and their former ally, Superman? This was the question that Snyder's vision would have left us all pondering, eagerly awaiting the fate of the DC universe.
Okay, I'm guessing that's the bad guy.
In Zack Snyder's vision for Justice League Part 3, the stakes get even higher as Earth's last remaining heroes prepare for their final showdown against Darkseid. Let's dive into how it would have played out.
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
The film opens with the arrival of Green Lantern, who comes to Earth searching for his missing partner, presumed dead. The Justice League has a desperate plan. Cyborg is working on a cosmic treadmill in the Batcave to send the Flash back in time and warn Bruce about Darkseid's future attack. They believe this will give Batman a critical advantage, enough to save Lois Lane and rewrite history. However, they need one of the mother boxes to power the treadmill.
I might be able to do it.
In a bold move, the League turns to Joker for help. He's not just a wild card, they need him. The Joker knows where to find both kryptonite to defend against Superman and a mother box that the League can use for their plan. The night before the heist, each member tells a personal story, confessing their fears as they believe they may not survive the next day. The Justice League infiltrates one of Darkseid's strongholds, successfully stealing the mother box. But before they can return to the Batcave, Superman, still under the influence of the anti-life equation, pursues them. Despite their efforts to use kryptonite, they fail to stop him. In a tragic series of events, Superman kills the League members one by one. Flash, barely escaping, runs back in time just before Superman can reach him. Now in the past, Flash warns Bruce of the future catastrophe. In a heart-wrenching moment, Bruce Wayne sacrifices himself to save Lois, giving Superman enough time to make it back to the Batcave and protect her. Darkseid, realizing his plan has failed, retreats. With Batman gone, Superman, now free from Darkseid's control, steps up as the leader of the Justice League. He unites mankind and Earth's remaining heroes for an epic final battle against Darkseid and the forces of Apocalypse. Aquaman rallies the armies of Atlantis, Wonder Woman leads the Amazons, and the Green Lantern Corps finally joins the fray. The showdown is massive. Earth's heroes, united with its people, face Darkseid's forces in a planet-wide battle for survival. Meanwhile, in a twist of fate, Lex Luthor, never fully on board with Darkseid's plan to obliterate mankind, sneaks aboard Darkseid's ship. Luthor sacrifices himself by detonating a nuclear bomb on the ship, killing Darkseid and ending the threat once and for all. In the aftermath, the Justice League stands victorious, but at great cost. With Bruce Wayne gone and Earth forever changed, Superman leads the new League, determined to protect the future from any threat that comes their way.
Kick your ass and cook their names.
Zack Snyder's vision for Justice League wasn't just about the epic battles or larger-than-life villains, it was also about the emotional journey of the characters. One of the most intriguing parts of Snyder's original plan was how it all would have ended. The movie was set to skip ahead 20 years after Batman's sacrifice. We would see Clark Kent and Lois Lane taking their son, Bruce Kent, down to the Batcave. But here's the twist. Bruce Kent doesn't inherit Superman's powers. Instead, he takes up the mantle of the Dark Knight, becoming the new Batman, honoring the legacy of Bruce Wayne. But there was an even deeper, more controversial story Snyder had originally planned. Early in the development process, Snyder envisioned a love triangle between Bruce Wayne, Lois Lane, and Superman. After Superman's death in Batman v Superman, Bruce and Lois find solace in each other, leading to Lois becoming pregnant. In Snyder's original concept, Bruce would discover that he is the father of Lois's child, which would deeply affect his character arc. This love triangle also plays into a pivotal scene when Darkseid arrives at the Batcave. At that moment, Batman is distracted. He's in the middle of an argument with Lois, torn between his feelings for her and her love for Superman. This distraction is what allows Darkseid to kill Lois, setting the stage for Superman's fall to the anti-life equation. But then, Snyder introduces time travel. The Flash, traveling back from the future, tells Bruce the truth, that he is the father of Lois's child. This revelation would give Batman the motivation to make the ultimate sacrifice, saving Lois and their unborn child, ensuring that both survive. Despite the changes, Snyder's vision remains a fascinating what-if for DC fans, a bold, emotionally complex storyline that could have taken the DCU in a very different direction that fans will continue to debate for years to come. If this sounds like the ultimate conclusion to the Justice League saga, hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns and updates on Snyder's vision. If you're a fan of superhero lore and the rich history behind DC and Marvel's cinematic universes, click here to dive into more epic stories and the legendary rivalry that's shaped pop culture for decades.